many more, where he has been Avasant and many more, where he consistently demonstrated his expertise and commitment. More importantly, he has been recognized as the CMO of the Year award in 2021 by Enterprise IT, which IT World, among the top 100 innovation market leaders by the World Marketing Congress. Today, he will be sharing the invaluable insight on the topic AI is going to reshape the business landscape. So we are very thrilled to host you, sir. Without any further ado, let us get started. Over to you, sir.
So first of all, thank you all of you for this opportunity. I'm really excited to connect with all of you. I love speaking with new learners or people who are excited about learning new things. And because I myself is a learner, I would say lifelong learner, and the journey has typically been mixed, I would say, both, yeah, learning from others as well as learning on ourselves. So as we know, we'll today talk about a very important topic, and I would say one of the most exciting topics called artificial intelligence and how the businesses or the business landscape is changing with AI. So I put together a small presentation. Let me share. I think you'll have to give me that access. I don't have the screen sharing access.
So you can try now. We have given you.
Okay. Thank you. Let me know if you see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, sir, it's visible.
Okay, sure. So before I actually get into this, I thought let me ask for sorry in advance for two things. First, obviously there can be technical difficulties like can you hear me kind of things, which is very common in any virtual environment. And obviously, if there are any issues, please feel free to let me know in advance so that I can repeat the same thing once again. And second, I would have loved to be on site and meet all of you face to face. But yeah, maybe nevertheless, it can be next time, right? So yeah, business landscape in the age of AI. So if you look at how exactly the business environment is evolving right from COVID period. So if we go back, say, 3 years down the line, 2020, all of us were confined to closed spaces in our house. Some of us are still working in a hybrid mode, trying to balance between office work and family and everything right from our homes. At that point in time, obviously, we were trying to leverage technology. We were trying to see what is the future of work, because that is the term which everyone was talking about, and everyone the moment. And I was part of a tech company called Ananta, where we were working on a tech called virtual desktop infrastructure at that point in time, and that tech was, I would say, is a revolutionary tech that helped most of the organizations in helping them to sustain or to get into a business as usual mode for future of work, especially during the COVID times. From there, the eminent or the coming of AI has definitely changed the way we work now versus the way we work used to few years or a decade ago. So let me just get started. So what we are going to discuss today, the rise of AI, foundation, AI and use, ethical use of AI, impact on jobs, future possibilities, and any question and answer. And I would allow all of you to ask and interject at any time. That I just don't want this to be a monologue. Feel free to ask questions if you have, raise your hand and ask questions of any nature, okay? So that's how I believe it will be a mutually learning experience. What do you see this? Imagine a world where world leaders come and talk about various political issues over a football or over a basketball game or any other game. This is something which all of us would definitely desire. And I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with this image. It is quite circulated on internet. Most of people would have seen on different platforms. So all these images were created by artificial intelligence. This is the byproduct or the prototype of AI, especially generative AI at this point in time. What about this? Can you recognize anything or come up with any idea before I talk about it? What is the context behind this kind of imagery that you see here, and who created it? Okay, so this is image, I would say, or this image was created by artificial intelligence, not say serviced by Coca-Cola. I mean, the company itself did not come forward or ask or use AI to create this. It was created by some designer or a creative person using generative AI technology. And if you look at each of these cans are modified according to the local flavor. So you have a can from Morocco, you have a Mexico, you have a can for Iran, you have a China can, you have a can for Korea, you have India, you have Estonia. So each can is customized. And if you look at the background of this, so what exactly it tells us is the personalization that can happen with respect to this particular technology is immense. And it would not require months or hours of investment of anyone's time or effort or money, but it can be done in few minutes at an easier pace, at someone's easy to do way. So that's how powerful this particular tech, especially generative AI, which is powered by large language models, is at this point in time. This is another example. Has anyone seen this image earlier or tried to experiment with this? Please feel free to speak, because I'll keep asking questions, because I want to, as I said, I want to keep it very, very interactive. I just do not want anyone to doze off. Right. So see, this particular image or what you see here is, this is an experience which was designed by Coca-Cola itself. Okay, I see one hand going there. Someone has seen it. So this was actually designed by Coca-Cola. They have designed a website around this. So why P000 is a futuristic product of Coca-Cola that leverages artificial intelligence to present to the customer the taste of the future. So what they have done is they have a few certain flavors of raspberry, strawberry, some vanilla flavor, and all of that in the taste of the, considering that this is how a Coke would taste somewhere in future. And not necessarily that is the taste that we would actually see, but this is how it's more of creative imagination of the designer to come up with something like that. They have already created a website around it where you can actually experience or have virtually experience the Coke universe of Y3000 product through their website. You just need to scan the QR code on your mobile phone, and you will be able to experience this kind of product. So this is real-time use of artificial intelligence at this point in time. Any questions, anyone? Okay. Any one of you can identify this beautiful location for me? I'm sorry, I think some of you are on mute. If you could unmute and talk about it.
Maldives, is it the image of Maldives?
Not Maldives, but yes, it is a very scenic tourist destination. It is somewhere in the Caribbean. So this island is called Anguilla Island. This is a British overseas island. And why this particular island became a news, or I would say a sensational news, is because uh, it manages the domain name .ai. And you would see that in the past few years, many startups, especially tech startups or SaaS companies, software as a service companies, they are using .ai, or most of the websites have their domain names as .ai, right? You would have come across many websites as .ai. It is a more to denote that yes, they are a tech advanced company that leverages artificial intelligence to create their product in some or the other way. And this particular island, a very small island in the Caribbean, has made millions of dollars just by project managing that particular .ai domain. So this is what you see here on your screen, as you see. So it has helped Anguilla in bringing close to 30 million US dollars, right? From nothing. If you see 2017, there were close to around 5 million, and now the estimated revenue is to increase to 30 million just by owning this domain. So it is an, apart from tourism, which could be the which seems to be the major revenue source for this particular island, uh, AI is helping it directly or indirectly, this particular island in generating revenue, right, for the government. So yes, that's an indirect application of the track, but yes, this is very important. Now we get into understanding some of the foundations of the AI, and this is very important for all of us to understand this, because unless we understand what exactly is AI, and I'm not sure how many of you have earlier read about AI or have gone through in your college or in engineering. I'm sure some of you would have at least read some things about AI and would have more detailed technical understanding of it. But yeah, if you have questions, feel free to ask the questions. So this is how we look at artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, just by, when I give you a pure, say, a non-generic, or I would say a generic understanding of all of these terms today, because I don't want to make it techy. You can technical explanation or technical definition. You can always get it on Google, but it's important for all of us to get a generic understanding of what exactly this technology is or what it does. Why it is important to look at it generically is because not all of us are techies, including me, right? So we need to understand where are people. I mean, some of you would have aspirations to join the HR function. Others would have aspirations to become financial wizards. Other would want to get into marketing or sales. A few would want to get into IT specializations and all of that. And I'm sure the question in most of your mind would be, how and why exactly is even AI relevant for my role or my job, kind of thing? Because marketing may not need AI, or HR function, it does not need AI, kind of thing. But today the scenario has completely changed. In the corporate scenario, even the HRs are using a lot of tools that are facilitated by AI. So unless you get a generic understanding of what exactly is a technology, it is extremely difficult for you to understand about the tech in detail, or the applications of the tech or use cases of the tech in detail. So artificial intelligence, you can understand, is a tech that mimics human intelligence. So it is fed with a lot of data, it reads and makes its own calculations, and it gives us the information. Machine learning is more from, I would say, the ability of the machines to learn and evolve from learning loads of data. Okay, so it learns from all the data that is fed. Like if I look about, say, common examples, so you have Siri, you have Alexa, right? And even like all the search content that happens from Google. So all those suggestions that we get is all machine learning, because machine is trying to learn and evolve and help us to improve our performance. Now, a deep learning is a one step below machine learning, and I would say a subset of machine learning again, which is a deeper concept which involves, I mean, leveraging the power of artificial neural networks. And what is artificial neural network is it works something very close to a human brain. Like in our brain, if you would have been bio student in school at some point in time in your lives, you would know that our brains have neurons which processes all the information, and it moves from one neuron to other neuron, and that's how we have got the creative side and the analytical side of the brain and all of that. So it is somewhat, or I would say it is similar to that function of the brain that happens. And deep learning leverages a lot of data. The machine keeps, say, leveraging information that's fed, or the training that's done to the machines. And some of the applications at this point in time is on the facial recognition side, or even on the product recommendations when we go shopping online on e-commerce site, right? So it suggests, oh, okay, you try to buy this particular product, why not? Here are some recommendations for you and all of that. So that's all part of based on the browser history and all of that. So that's all part of the deep learning process. Now, natural language processing. So this is like more of understanding ability of the machines to understand the text and the speech that we feed into the machines, right? Especially, say, the chatbot, because we ask questions to the chatbot, we get answers or response. And I'm sure, like a few years down the line, if you would have seen, uh, Zomato started using an automated chatbot, and now almost most of the business uses chatbots, including B2B businesses uses a chatbot. But uh, what we saw in why specific to Zomato, because it was quite intriguing to chat with the machines altogether. Even now, there the complete human intervention was cut off to an extent, wherein at least 90 to 95% of the conversation started happening directly with the machines. And the machines used to give us these are the top 10 options for you. Pick those options and place your order, or the order has gone wrong. This is a coupon for you and all of that. So everything used to happen based on the processing by the machines. Computer vision. This is like ability of the machine to interpret the images as well as videos and understand and then give us the, say, the output. So if you look at, say, driverless car, so this is a very good example of computer vision, because most of and not only computer vision, it involves other tech as well, but computer vision plays a major role in driverless cars, especially trying to understand, interpreting the traffic on the roads, as well as understanding if there is any say impedance in the way the car is driving, or when to apply brakes, when to stop, traffic signals, and all of that, right? And RPA, which is robotic process automation, this has been a term that has quite been used for at least a decade now. Uh, and mostly it is used to automate all the repetitive or mundane tasks, which usually requires a lot of time to complete such a task. But if an automation software is used, the things can be done in, say, in a minute, or few minutes kind of thing, uh, right? So all of this given, so see, artificial intelligence, as we should understand, is not something which is new or which just started a few months ago once generative AI was launched. Enterprise AI organizations, or like service provider organizations or technology provider organizations, including Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and all of them, they have been working on AI for at least 2 to 3 decades now. The first sign, or the first chatbot, which was invented by Joseph Weizenbaum, an MIT grad, that came, which wasn't an AI, but it mimicked very much an AI kind of feature, wherein it allowed people to talk directly to machines. And it was called ELIZA. It came in 1966. So that's how old this technology is. It is only that with generative AI, we see the AI gaining a lot of momentum, and everyone is talking about AI at this point in time. Any questions, anything which you would want to understand? Okay. So our acquaintance with AI. So there are three types, or I would say categories of AI. One is artificial narrow intelligence, which is called ANI, which is right now where computers exhibits human capabilities in narrow and deliberate domains, wherein they do only what you tell them. Okay, they are not using their own intelligence like we do, like we have the creativity, we have the analytical power and all of that. Computers do not have still at that of level that can match humans competence on at least in certain areas, right? After this, you have artificial generative intelligence, which is AGI, and computers exhibit intelligence that mimics human intelligence. It is at par with human intelligence. So imagine few years down the line, if computer starts to understand or behave exactly like us, have feelings like us. And I'm sure you would have seen this movie where we had a robot, Chitty, right? Chitty was a robot in that movie. So with Rajnikant being the lead actor as a robot. So that is how, or that is when a computer reaches the AGI level, right? And then you have the artificial super intelligence, wherein Rajnikant goes raw, and then it surpasses human intelligence and started using its own intelligence, and then is no longer dependent on humans, right? And that's what also we saw in that particular movie. So that's how exactly we are moving. So we don't know if in future we computers will be super intelligent, or it may not be. We do not know that foreseeable future at this point in time. But at least for now, we know that yes, narrow intelligent computers or machines do what we feed to them. Right now, very interesting survey was conducted somewhere on the internet, and they wanted to understand how and when we can see AGI coming up. Yeah, the artificial generative intelligence. So most people came forward and voted. In less than 5 years, 46% of the people said less than 5 years we will move from ANI to AGI. So that's like very near when we will have computers will be on par with human intelligence, right? So the only option that is left for us is to become smarter than machines, isn't it? So that's how fast we need to move, especially when it comes to learning this kind of technology and understanding it, and imbibing this into our, day-to-day work. Any questions, anyone?
So, hi, sir.
Yeah, hi.
So, like we just discussed, that artificial general intelligence will be taking over our in our lifetime. At least we will be able to see artificial general intelligence. So,
Yes.
all the work that is being done by human labor right now, or even people who are at least technicians level, can be done by a machine. So, how do you think? Which is the scope where human will be needed to perform any work. Like in corporate, they are being removed, but new jobs are being created. So, what is the field do you think that will be where humans will be needed in the future?
See, before we get into future, we need to understand one thing, and we will talk in detail in the subsequent slides about it on how AI can actually impact jobs. But let me just give you a very brief understanding about it. Is uh, The AI will mostly augment jobs. And one of the very good examples that I have today, right now, is Walmart in one of their stores in the US. They experimented with AI and they invited all the journalists or the media to talk about it, that this is how they have implemented AI for order processing or for inventory management and all of that. And the question that was asked to Walmart was, how many people has AI replaced? And the response that they got was none. So what has happened is AI has saved very enough time, or I would say not only increased productivity and efficiency of the workforce at Walmart in that particular store, but it has saved time of these individuals, and now they are being reused for some other critical work. Right? Some of them has been assigned to monitor these processes. Others have been put into other areas of how to optimize the store better and all of that. So it's like it is actually enabling humans in doing jobs in a better way, at least at this point in time. So we will see more about it in subsequent slide, whether jobs are impacted or not. Yes, it may there may be some of the jobs will be impacted, and almost all eminent personalities have talked about it, including Sam Altman, Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai. Everyone has talked about it. Some jobs will be impacted, but yes, there will be jobs that will be created as well. So we need not worry as long as we equip ourselves enough to be smarter than machines and become their masters rather than they becoming and controlling us. So the next set of jobs will be for those who know how to work using these technologies, right? So you will end up directly competing with those guys who will be leveraging skills of generative AI or any other tech which may come in the few years down the line, right? So that is the kind of job that we see in future, wherein jobs will specifically write that yes, you need a generative AI a learner or someone who is certified in generative AI or something like that, right? And one very good example, which because since I come from marketing, so from marketing perspective, let me provide is when digital marketing came around, I think when Facebook and Twitter and all of were in very nascent stage around 2004, 5, 6, sometime around that. And when businesses started making their profiles on these platforms, all of them suddenly started asking, we need people who understand digital marketing, right? Or people who understand social media marketing. Similarly, like if you look at some of the jobs in marketing right now, even, or if you go just 5 years down the line, when we had marketing automation tools, most marketing roles required people to understand or have a working understanding of marketing automations tools, be say HubSpot, Pardot, Elecqua, and several others. Right? So something similar to that may happen with AGI, with generative AI as well. And we may see jobs actually asking students or people or prospective employees that these are the kind of qualifications that are required. It may be in the form of certifications or it may be in the form of something else. But yes, it may that scenario may happen. I hope that was helpful.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. It was very informative.
Sure. So now moving to AI versus generative AI. So traditional AI versus generative AI. And I think it's important to understand the difference between the two. So traditional AI, as I said, the enterprise side of AI was mainly predictive, used for decision making. Even now it is used. There are several tools that uses predictive technology and helps CXOs in making decisions. While generative AI, for the first time in history, technology was helping to create prototypes, right? Like you can create any type of document, you can create videos, you can create images, you can create, ask information about product launch, you can ask information about marketing plan, whatever you want. You have the question, you feed into the AI will go through its data and then give you the response, right? So it is happening for the first time. Earlier, it was more of AI was predictive and it was able to tell us, okay, this is how the weather is going to be uh, in tomorrow, or whether it's going to rain in Mumbai or not rain in Mumbai. And one of the funny examples that I have for this is like, I remember the days when we were kids, we always when we used to watch Doordarshan, we had a scenario where they said, today it is going to rain, and trust me, it never rained for the next 7 days because it there was no tech involved in predicting at that point in time. It was pure of manual tech that was used, which wasn't accurate. But today, if we look at the kind of predictions, if they issue an orange alert or a yellow alert in Mumbai, it is an orange alert or a yellow alert because uh, technology or predictive technologies are helping weather department to make that kind of prediction. We know how much the air pressure is. We know how much rain would come and all of that. So we have enough information at this point in time with respect to weather or crop or soil. So AI is actually enabling each and every sector in some or the other way at this point in time, right? Any question? Okay, let me quickly move. So typically, see, there are three expectations or three areas where businesses typically are revolved. Most businesses revolve around three things. First is investors who put in money. Second is your customers, and third is obviously employees. Now, investors, obviously the growth is to get growth and better profit margins are the outcomes that investors expect, and ultimately every business has a single objective of generating revenue. So that's the core objective of any business, and AI or technologies like AI can definitely help in businesses in say optimizing cost and increasing profitability and subsequent areas as well. Customers today are very smart because they have access to similar technologies as service providers that we may have. And what we do is customers therefore has become very demanding of service providers. They have become extremely demanding of service providers. They are asking service providers to create products in the way they can address their subsequent customers' challenges. So that is how AI is being leveraged, and employees obviously with more and more, as I said, AI can help to automate some of the repetitive tasks, and employees in few months or few days or it could be few years. At this point in time, the primary reason, or I would say if you go and search for what are the reasons why employees leave, and I will probably ask you guys what in your idea why would actually someone leave an organization? Any idea? Okay. So see, typically it could be either say better prospect that people would want, or it could be they are not happy with the profile, or they are not happy with the person they are working, and all of that. These are the typical reasons. But from there, there could be a scenario where people may leave organizations if the organization is using primitive technology, or if their organization is expecting employees to work in a primitive way, doing everything manually, while other organizations are automating the processes and getting work done quickly. So employee may choose organizations where they get to leverage technology to do some of the mundane tasks. This is very interesting, and this will help clarify some of these. So see, typically, if you look at, say, any content creation process, so or any, say, collateral creation process, so what we do is we research, we analyze that information, we create a draft, and then we have editing, right? We do the editing part, and the final output is published. With AI, what's happening is the entire research, analysis, and drafting part is done by the AI. So even in an organization, like suppose if I have to work with someone, with a content marketer or with a content person, so I ask the content person, okay, why don't you help me write a blog? So the person will go research on the topic, gather some information, analyze information, then create a draft of that. And this entire process would take anyway close to, say, 2 to 3 days. If it is a blog, if it is a white paper, it can take up to 4 to 7 days as well. Or if it is a research report, then it can take up to months just to come up with first draft of it. Right? But everything, the entire process has been reduced to few minutes to few hours at that point in time. So imagine the kind of productivity, the kind of efficiency which technology like generative AI has brought into our frame, or I would say work culture at this point in time. Any questions? Okay. These are some of the numbers on generative AI. I would not spend much time here, but important thing to understand here is what are the areas where, as per McKinsey, where 75% of the generative AI use cases will be there. So you have research and development, marketing and sales, customer operations, and software engineering. So these are the 4 areas where AI will have loads of impact. I will just skip this. So this is a very interesting part, AI in action. Let me talk about some of these use cases. I will not go deep into these slides, but yes, I will go deep into subsequent slides, and I will ask questions which are very general knowledge-based questions, which will obviously help you to think a little more with clarity. So as you see, right from movie dubbing to sales and marketing to candidate selection to drug discovery to product demos to chatbot, writing poems, profiles, new product development, across all use cases, there are multiple use cases that generative AI and AI combined has for us. So that's the kind of opportunity that this particular technology has brought into our lives. maybe I can go deep into each of these at some other forum. But as of now, let's understand this from some examples. The World Cup Doha, how many of you are soccer fans? Anyone? I am not sure if you all guys are on mute and if you are trying to say something. But I assume, yes, you are soccer fans. Sorry, I just need someone this message or something. Okay. So I assume you are all soccer fans. So the World Cup Doha was one of the most heavily, say, tech-enabled events in the history of any sport. Because what happened was there were some 15,000 cameras were installed and the ball was tracked. The speed at which the ball was hit was tracked. The speed at which it went into goal was tracked. Players' movement was tracked. The traffic into and out of the stadium was tracked. So everything was tracked to perfection with the help of artificial intelligence to come up and generate a lot of key insights and analytics around each game. So that's how AI was used. The world of tennis. Anyone recognize this gentleman? Sorry, I'm not sure if you guys are. Nadal. Yes. Now, can you recognize this logo? Infosys, right? What's the connection between these two? Any idea? Okay, so Infosys recently signed Rafael Nadal as its brand ambassador. So what is the tech company doing signing a contract with a tennis player, tennis legend, I should say, right? So the purpose is to understand how exactly understand the game of tennis in a better way, right? And develop its own models or develop its own tech so that Infosys can say take it to the market at a later point in time, right? It is also going to help Nadal play in a much better way in subsequent games because of the analysis and the tracking and all of that. That would happen with the data that Infosys would study from Rafael Nadal's previous games, right? Wimbledon. I'm sure at least some of you must be tennis fans. So Wimbledon was it was this year 2023 saw one AI use, and one of the critical, I would say, one of the important use was we had commentary at Wimbledon, and that was powered by AI. So you had bots actually making commentary for certain small time, talking or giving actual insights like you would see in any cricket commentary or any other sporting commentary. So AI was actually enabling that commentary for the particular game. So now, do you recognize this logo, anyone? Okay, so this is IBM Watson's logo. IBM Watson is the technology that is behind enabling Wimbledon with this commentary and various other things, right? So that's how the sporting industry is adopting AI. Now, shopping redefined. So have you heard about something called Amazon Go? Read about it, something like that?
Yes, I've heard about Amazon Go. So it is basically
Right?
a service where people just get into the store and just pick the product and add it in the cart. And while leaving the store, the amount of the product automatically gets deducted from their cart.
Very good, brilliant. Yes, exactly the same thing happens, right? You enter the store, grab the product and walk out. No need to stand in any counter or queue and pay through your credit card or whatever. Everything is automated through Amazon account. So that's how technology is moving fast, and that's how all of us needs to think to adapt and then gain insights into these technology. So anyone saw these or read about these three ladies? So we have Sana,
Yes, sir.
Lisa, and
Yes, sir.
Soundarya, right? So these are the three AI-enabled news anchor, India's first AI news anchor on Aaj Tak, on Orissa TV, and you have Kannada AI News. So see, that's the power of tech, and that's how it is changing the way we consume information. Because in TV, mostly media is, it's mostly we are consuming information, right? So the media industry is leveraging AI technology to create products, to or to create outcomes that is helping them to engage with us in a better way, right? And we don't know, but maybe few years down the line we may see a completely AI enabled news channel, right? That could also be a possibility. It may start with few hours and then it may become 24/7, right? With all AI enabled news anchors that can even analyze information past, present, and predict the future, right, in a better way. So even that could also be a possibility. It's all about, I am say it's all about the way human can imagine it and then come up with something. Conversational payments. So I'm not sure if you have read. So this came few weeks ago in the newspapers, where the government of India is now going to leverage, especially because UPI is one of the world's largest digital payment ecosystem that we have in the world, far ahead than China and US and any other country combined. And the government is going to use the OpenAI tech tools developed by IIT Madras to create this, so that people who are at the bottom of the pyramid can pay money, and who do not have access to internet enabled phone can pay money through their voice, right? And AI can recognize that and help them to pay that. So that's how AI is actually helping in future as well. Ethical use of AI. Any questions on this before I move on to this section? So I'll quickly move to other sections in the paucity of time.
Good morning, sir. I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sir, we talk about the AI chatbots and virtual assistants that increases our productivity day by day. But what about the human touch? Don't you think the customers, if we talk about the Tata 1mg, if you know the app, it's basically based on the medicine and healthcare services.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So in that case, people might, can miss that human touch or humanization. So what's your take on that?
See, as I said, humans will be very much required in doing any kind of job, and
Yes,
AI
sir.
will only be an enabler, right? AI will not replace people who are in critical roles. And as you said human touch, yes, at some point in time, see, some of these, what AI is doing right now is it is taking care of the level one kind of interactions, right? Where, say, imagine a human agent sitting behind computer and chatting with the person and responding to the person, like it happens in typical BPOs, right, or a knowledge process outsourcing centers. Uh, So that's something which should take, and there are volumes of calls. So to attend to each of these calls typically would take, say, anywhere between, say, 5 to 15 minutes, depending on the query of the customer and how irate the customer is. But with AI, the same thing can be processed in, say, few minutes, because AI throws, okay, these are the options for you. You just take it, feed it, and then it transfers it to a human agent. So most of these apps that you use right now, what it takes is it just gathers the information, which is basic information in terms of what are your problems that you're facing, what is the challenge. If it also suggests you, okay, have you tried these options to fix it at your own, uh, in your own way? And if it is not, or if you have exhausted those options which are suggested by AI, then it says, okay, let me connect you with a human agent. So obviously, it is what it is doing is it is enabling the human to focus on core thing, which is addressing the problem, rather than getting into first level of interaction, gathering information. Okay, tell me what's your problem. Customer explains it in 10 different ways. Then there is human challenges in understanding that problem. Then the guy repeats, tries to solve that problem on the phone itself, which becomes repetitive, and it's a time taking thing, right? If the same thing can just be automated through any application or any chatbot, it becomes pretty easier, because the next level is if the options that are suggested by AI or chatbot, if that doesn't solve the problem, it also gives us the option to connect to a human agent who, or to schedule a visit by an engineer who can fix that problem. So human intervention very much will be required. So it will be like they have to go hand in hand. They have to walk side by side. It cannot be AI alone that will drive things. And AI plus human will be the bigger, greater value chain or value add to any product or service company.
Thank you so much, sir.
Right?
So
Sure. Yes.
I had a question.
Yes, please.
So as we know that today we are moving towards digitalization, and many of the startups and even established companies are moving their products to digital line. But sir, the reality in India is that only around half the population has a smartphone. And even in that, around some people have 2 to 3, or even somebody has given it to their grandparents. So they are not really using that. So if we see that around only 1/3 of the population is really using smartphones, and thereby using AI and other tools that are being developed, do you think that it is being the market is being missed somewhere because of this? Because they are the traditional sense is coming is day by day losing its charm to a investor, to a company, and they are moving toward digitalization. But most of the people in India are still not able to use that technology. People don't even have telephone network in their homes right now, and whereas in cities, like, we are talking through internet. So this is a very huge disparity. So is this affecting somehow the market?
Let me try and understand your question first. So, as I understand this, so you are saying at a time when traditional tech or traditional industries have not been able to, say, address the problem of users 100%, we have a new technology like AI, which no one understands, uh, right? Again, trying to take away the market, or I would say create an interest much more than traditional industries, right? So how exactly traditional industries are going to catch up with the new technology, or we as users are going to catch up? Is that?
So yes, sir, that is. But the point is that the digitalization is at a faster rate than the people are coping up with. So will this create an imbalance in the market?
See, imbalance as such, I am not sure. There is a digital divide that yes, it exists. But yes, there are technologies, and what is happening in the past few years is globally is what we see is that digital divide is gradually say gappening. The gap is getting lesser and lesser. Why? Because the use of technology is enabling to bridge that divide, right? If you look at certain, say, particular industry, if we look at, say, if certain particular industry was able to address only to the needs of, say, people say, in the cities, right now they are able to expand it to tier 2 or tier 3 cities as well. It's all happening because of availability of internet, availability of penetration of network in those areas. And for, I would say, one of the very good examples that I would cite is of Amazon. If you look at Amazon, earlier it was primarily restricted only to metros, right? Delhi, Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad kind of thing. Now you go to any tier 2 or tier 3 cities, you can order anything from Amazon right sitting in your home, because Amazon understands that yes, there is internet connectivity in that city. We have faster mobile networks. We recently, I think just a couple of days ago, government has initiated research. I think India launched its first 6G lab. It just, I think, 2 days ago. So there is a faster way in which technology is helping us to reach to the bottom of the pyramid. Okay. And that is why technology is very much needed, even by the traditional industries, to bridge that gap and to take their services to a larger audience. Suppose if I talk about say just use of generative AI in product launch. Typically, every product life cycle, every product has a say a time frame in which it gets launched, right? It has a time frame in which it gets launched or before it takes market, and that can get lengthened from say 3 months to 6 months to sometimes to a couple of years as well, depending on the complexity of the project of the product. But what's happening right now is with technologies like generative AI, or people can create these products, people can automate some of the components part of it, especially the conceptualization part of it. They can even write codes using generative AI technology. They can create products. So the time to market is significantly reduced, right? And when the time to market is significantly reduced, you can focus your energy on taking that product to the audience. You can even work with this kind of technology to create your own marketing plan. You can create your own positioning. You can create your own messaging for the audience, and you can even customize it. So it all depends on how you and what kind of prompts that you share with the audience, right? So the better prompts that you share, the better it is. Right? So important is that we become smarter at identifying what are the correct and the right prompts. And it only will come as you start experimenting with the technology, as you start using this technology more and more, then you would get to learn more about these prompts. And yesterday I met one of my friends who is a co-founder at one of the companies in the EdTech platform. And we were talking about how AI is actually helping in jobs. And he said there are jobs for prompt engineers coming up in the US that is paying 300K. So imagine these are the new kind of jobs that are coming up. So we just need to equip ourselves, learn from some of these technologies, become smarter, so that we reduce the time to market for product, and also we become better at taking it to the right kind of audience. Right?
Yes.
I hope that was useful.
Yes.
So ethical use of AI. I'm sure if you would have seen this. So this is Morgan Freeman. So this video was these two videos that you see is these are misuse of AI. Right. So AI was misused to create something like this, wherein there's a video of Morgan Freeman where he comes on the camera and says, "I am not Morgan Freeman." Right? Because he is not. This is an AI generated. So someone used some AI tech to swap the face of other person and put their face here and talk at length for around 10-15 minutes on camera. Right? So that's how, so which is called deep fake, if we will talk about it in the next slide. So that's how AI can be misused. Right? Even the example on the right, if you see the Ukrainian President Zelensky, uh, his face was swapped, and I think there was a video where he was deemed to be surrendering to Russia. So that was also created by certain hackers to create this kind of nuisance. So that's how AI is also being misused at this point in time. So along with good things that this particular technology is bringing, there are obviously challenges. Like any other tech, there are challenges that AI is also bringing, especially with generative AI. So like copyright infringements, you have challenges of data privacy. Because see, who owns the copyright for content that is generated by generative AI? We don't know, right? Who is the owner? In the US, there have been quite a few cases where someone has tried to create a certain image or has written certain book, and now they have tried to claim copyright over that piece of content, and the courts have said that you cannot content generated by generative AI cannot be copyrighted, and there is a lot of discussions happening around this at this point in time. So copyright infringement, data privacy obviously is a big problem, because, and there was few examples where in certain, I believe in Toyota, so the entire prototype was uploaded on generative AI platforms to seek some responses, so which was against the rules of the company. So there are many organizations that came forward and have restricted the use of generative AI as well, specifically for departments where you deal with critical information, which are either product centric or customer centric, because that can jeopardize their business and that can lead to different challenges with respect to their businesses. AI has discriminations, yes. It has shown that if you have certain prompts, it gives you a response. It could be these discriminations are based on, say, gender. It can be based on race. So it has biases as well. As I was talking about deepfakes, so we saw two examples of deepfakes in the previous slide itself. So there are deepfakes examples at this point in time, and cyber attacks as well. Yes, there are multiple, especially since COVID, multiple cyber attacks has happened, and the number of cyber attacks has increased. So that's why security is one of the top priorities for most of the CIOs at this point in time. Any questions? So this is an adaptation from one of the papers that we are writing at this point in time. It is going to be published on ethical use of AI very soon, that we are going to publish. So what we did was we analyzed the different countries, including the US, Brazil, Europe, India, China, Singapore, Thailand, Japan, Canada, and Australia, and trying to understand what exactly is happening on the responsible use of AI, or what are the kind of rules that is already existing in the market, or the governments have come forward with certain rules. So we accept the, say, EU laws, which is more of a prescriptive format, wherein it says it has its own do's and don'ts. You can do this with AI, you cannot do this. It is that way it is mentioned. US still is in a kind of exploratory phase. It is studying the technology, and most of the countries are using EU's framework on AI typically as a benchmark to create their own frameworks. India has come forward and said that we want to use it for good of the citizens at this point in time. So obviously we don't need a very stringent rule around AI immediately. It may happen in future, but not immediately, because the government wants to leverage AI technology to create certain citizen-centric services. Even in Japan, something similar is happening. Japan is using AI for social innovation in a big way. Australia, Brazil. So a more majority of almost all countries are at this point in time working to create a framework, which is they have their own drafts, but none of them have come forward and said that, yes, our AI law is ready. So probably we may need a global law around AI. Because this is fluid technology, it is not bounded by boundaries, actually, right? Is there any question you have on the previous slide? Okay. Are our jobs in danger? Yes, some of the jobs are in danger. As said by Sam Altman, AI will replace customer service jobs first. 100,000 sales and customer service reps are at the tap of a button. So a few weeks or few months ago, we saw an example of this where there is already an agent, AI-based agent, that can replace or that can take calls on behalf of customer service. It can be from 10 to 40 minutes call that these AI agents can do. And it can handle variety of questions, and it can even make a sale for say credit cards and various other things. So that's how powerful the technology is evolving, and some of these type of jobs definitely are at stake. If we look at the impact of on jobs at this point in time, so all the repetitive tasks like your office and administrative support, legal work, architecture, engineering kind of jobs, like physical, social sciences, business operations. So more majority of these jobs are going to be impacted. This is by Goldman Sachs report that was published a few months ago. And according to this, only the jobs that require physical labor will not be replaced by, or the chances of impact is 1 to 6% for those kind of jobs, right? But should we be worried? Only if we have no intention to learn the new tech. And as I said, we will not be replaced by AI, and we will be replaced by someone who is leveraging AI, right? So is AI the job terminator or job creator? So at this point in time, there are close to 40 million technology jobs. This is actually going to increase to 337 million by 2030. So you see it is adding more number of jobs than it is in the next few years. So obviously there are more net jobs added. So according to one of the research that was published, I think close to 500 million jobs will be created by AI by 2033 or something. And that will be net addition of the new job. So yes, there are new jobs that are being added at this point in time. So the 10 fastest growing jobs. So you have AI machine learning specialist, sustainability specialist, business intelligence, information security, fintech, data analyst, robotic engineers, technology engineers, and all of that. So these are the kind of new tech that's happening, and how large language models are helping enable the industry. Any questions? And I'm sure most of you would have questions. Or let me just complete this. So as I said, 10 fastest declining jobs. So this is from World Economic Forum data. So bank tellers. So some of these repetitive jobs, jobs which can easily be done by machines, will decline in the near future. And that has been the case for majority of the jobs. Like earlier, they were, if for in the SaaS industry, the prevalence of customer service manager wasn't there. But in the last 5 to 6 years, we see a lot of customer service manager jobs coming up in the SaaS industry, because the industry themselves are recognizing the importance of this kind of profile. So one job may be created, or it may be all these kind of jobs may morph into some other profile which is enabled by technology. And maybe instead of, say, a bank teller or related clerk, there could be a supervisor who manages the tech at that point in time. So we shouldn't be worried about it. Our skills are irreplaceable. We will not be replaced by AI, but someone leveraging AI will definitely replace us. Right from the horse's mouth. So as Nadella says, every time a new technology emerges, there is a real displacement that can take place in the job market. And artificial intelligence can also create new jobs. There can be a billion developers. In fact, the world needs a billion developers. That means there is big potential right now in the job market, and technology like artificial intelligence can only augment that potential basis what the data and everything that we see right now. Any question that you have before I move on to the next slide, or do you want me to just complete the next one and then move on to Q&A? So let me talk about investors' interest, and I'm sure some of you would want to start your own firms after your program. So engineering, product design, sales, customer support, productivity operations, data analytics. So these are some of the key areas. Especially engineering, product and design is one of the top areas where we see a lot of investments by investors, and this directly comes from the investors report. Y Combinator has published it, so this directly comes from them. So that's how the entire industry is moving. Sales and marketing, obviously, yes. Customer support and productivity and operations. So what the future holds? So 4 key areas. You have software development and maintenance, because yes, AI can help us to write codes, to generate apps, make apps, and all of that. Metaverse, yes. I think just a couple of days or a few days ago, I saw a video where a podcast by Alex Friedman, and he interviewed Mark Zuckerberg in a metaverse environment. Both of us sitting thousands of miles away. They put on the glasses, and then they talked or conducted this podcast in the metaverse. So there is a lot of opportunity that is coming up, and with AI, metaverse will become much more exciting. Video creation, virtual reality, yes. Improved information security as well. That's the potential that we see. Now, to your questions, I am open to any questions. I know we have exceeded time, but the topic itself is very exciting. So yes, I am looking forward to your questions. Please.
Yes, sir. So considering the time constraints, sir, I'm really sorry, we can take only one or two questions, sir.
Sure, please.
So guys, if you have any questions, just go on.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My question is, how will AI and other new technologies work together to change the world of business? I mean, like, what should businesses, students learn, should be learning or uh, doing now to succeed in the future world?
See, one of the important things that students should be doing is to learn to use these technologies. Obviously, the AI part of it is more of the tech side, unless you are on the developer side or development side or product development side. You won't be able to do hands-on development using AI tech as a tech, right? But with the kind of, if you are on, say, marketing or finance or HR or any other side, especially on the business profile that you are looking forward, then try and learn to use the application of these technologies, especially generative AI, how exactly you can use it for your own work, how it can be used for marketing, how it can be used by the HR, to improve the productivity, to improve the different processes. And one of very good examples which I would cite here is in my own case itself. Like I also have a fitness company which is called Fit Aerobic, and I'm the founder of that. So I was really struggling with launching this podcast that I do, or it's called Fitness Pro Chat with Fit Aerobic, and I speak with a lot of fitness experts right from the globe. Actually, in that. So I was really struggling to launch it last year, October, and I wanted to. I reached out to a lot of women uh, on this with respect to help on helping change the voice quality, improve the audio, and do some editing and all of that. And every time, and what had happened was I had done some live sessions with a few of the experts, and I had those recorded through Instagram. Obviously, Instagram compresses the audio quality, and the audio quality is extremely poor. So it wasn't ready for a podcast. But I wanted to, because the conversations were so good, I wanted to leverage that and publish that as a podcast. So what happened was, every time I got a no from every individual that I reached out, including I was ready to pay money, but the quality output that I was getting wasn't. I was convinced, and then suddenly I bumped upon an AI-enabled tool. You would have heard about it. It's called Adobe Audition. And I just uploaded some of these audio files on Adobe Audition, and the output that I got was exactly what I wanted. There was all the audio qualities were improved, silences were removed, and there was no background noise, and everything was proper for the launch. So that's how it helped me, right? So point being, we must learn we must identify which are these technologies that can help us to improve our productivity in our day-to-day lives. Like if we are working, say, like you are working on, say, a particular report that needs to be submitted. So you must not, you must learn to how to get the essence of the, say, what you're doing. Try to learn, try to understand more from it. There are, because see, these tech are, I mean, scouting entire universe of information that is there, and then they're giving us that data. So first, we should always take that with a pinch of salt, not considering that whatever which is fed to us by generative AI is correct. We should know that, at least at this point in time, they're not 100% correct. There are biases and all of that. But that's where human intelligence comes into play, that as humans, we should analyze to understand what information is correct and what information is wrong, and pick up the correct information from all the search, all the responses output that we get. From business perspective, if we start leveraging this, I'm sure when the jobs come, because for anyone doing an MBA, ultimately it is to either start their own company or to get a job. So if you start leveraging these technologies, you will be the first one to be picked up by these companies who would want to have experts, or you would want to have people who knows how to work on generative AI kind of technology or something similar technology.
Thank you, sir, for your invaluable insights.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other question?
Sir, I think we are done with all the questions for today. So before leaving, sir, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Alok Ranjan, sir, for gracing us with all his presence and sharing his very invaluable insights. Like his expertise and experience has obviously provided us with a very deeper understanding about the challenges and the opportunities in the corporate landscape right now. So we sincerely appreciate your time, sir, and effort in enlightening us and your contribution to the success of our Ameya Corporate Talk series is greatly acknowledged, sir. Lastly, sir, thank you for being an inspiration and a guiding light to our students. Your words will undoubtedly resonate with us, and we embark on our journey in the world of business and industry. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, all of you, for listening to me patiently for the past 1.5 hours. And you have been very kind as an audience. So thank you so much. And feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and reach out to me if you have any questions or if you need any assistance on any areas regarding whatever you're doing. Okay, so thank you so much. Have a great day and have a great future. Thanks. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much,
Thank you for the
sir.
session, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.